So we've already learned about single-step inequalities, so today we're going to learn about multi-step. Here's an example of how to work out a problem. So we start out with 4v plus 8 is greater than or equal to 6v plus 10. So first we combine like terms, like here. We minus 4v from each side because 6v is larger than 4v. Next, we subtract 10 from either side, so we can get the 2v on the side by itself. Okay. And then we notice that we have just the 2v, so we have to divide by 2, and we end up with v is greater than or equal to -1. To graph the solution, we know v is greater than or equal to means there's going to be a closed circle, and the arrow is going to be pointing to infinity because v is going to be greater than -1. And then how to write this, we want a closed bracket because it encompasses -1 and all the way to infinity, and infinity is going to be a parenthesis because nothing can equal infinity. So the first thing we do is combine like terms. So since 3m is less than 6m, we're going to subtract 3m from both sides. So now we have -4 is less than or equal to 3m plus 11. So next we're going to subtract 11 from both sides so we can get the 3m by itself. So now what we have is -15 is less than 3m, less than or equal to 3m. And what we do next is divide by 3 on both sides, so we can get the m by itself. So now what we have is -5 is less than or equal to m. So now we have to graph that. Since it's less than or equal to, we know that we have a closed circle. And since -5 is less than or equal to -m, we know that m is greater than -5, so it's going to go towards infinity. It's always helpful to put the variable first, and then you don't get confused. So -5 is less than or equal to m means m is greater than or equal to -5. Alright. Now we just have to show the solution set, and since -5 is the lowest number and it is in the solution set, we use a bracket. And it goes all the way to infinity, so infinity, and it's a parentheses because nothing can equal infinity. So here we have 30 is greater than negative parenthesis 5z plus 15 and parenthesis plus 10z. So first we have to do the distributive property of the -1 outside of the 5z plus 15 because a negative represents a -1. And make sure you do the negative for both items in the parentheses. Next we're going to combine like terms, but the like terms are on the same side of the inequality, so you can just add them together. So it'd be 10z plus a -5z, which would end up being a 5z. So now we have 30 is greater than 5z minus 15, so we want the z on the side by itself, so we're going to add 15 to both sides. So now what we have is 45 is greater than 5z, so we know we have to divide both sides by 5 to get the z alone. So we find that 9 is greater than z. To make it easier, we can flip the equation. So since 9 is greater than z, we know z is less than 9. So now we want to do the graph. Since z is less than 9 and not less than or equal to 9, we know that it's going to be an open circle. And since z is less than 9, we know that it's going to go this way towards negative infinity. If you ever get Confused, just pick a value, like any value, and see if it's less than or greater than 9. So if I were trying to choose this, I'd just pick 0. 0 on the number line is over here, so I know that it's going to go that way. If I pick 10, 10 wouldn't be less than 0, so we couldn't put it over there. And the solution set for this problem, we know z is going to be on the left side, and z, it will be so we know that it'll be a negative infinity, and 9 will be the next number, but it doesn't include 9, so it's going to be another parenthesis. So here we have 9 plus 2x is less than 7 plus 2 parenthesis x minus 3 end parenthesis. So what we first do is the distributive property. So we'll find that 2x minus 6 is what we're going to put in there. Next we're going to combine like terms. Notice there's a 2x on this side and a 2x on this side, so we end up with no x's. I'll show you. So we end up with the equation 9 is less than 7 minus 6. What we can do first is do the 7 minus 6, which equals 1. So we find that 9 is less than 1 is the equation we're left with. And this can never be true because these are whole numbers, and 9 will never be less than a 1 on the number line. So there are no solutions, and we cannot graph this. So we start out with 6w minus 4 is less than or equal to 2 parenthesis 3w plus 6 end parenthesis. So first off, we do the distributive property again. So 2 times 3w is 6w plus 2 times 6 is 12. So we have 6w minus 4 is less than or equal to 6w plus 12. So what we're going to do is we're going to combine like terms as usual. So I do minus 6w minus 6w. But again, they are the same number, so they cancel each other out. So we find that negative 4 is less than or equal to 12. Unlike the last solution, this is actually possible because negative 4 is always going to be less than 12. So the solution set for this number, or this equation, is negative infinity to infinity, or just all real numbers. If you want to do the number line, you can, but it would just be the entire line. Okay, and that's all for today.